Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today. We're going to be doing a Connecture tutorial. For those of you who have not joined with me before, I am the national trainer, Carolina. Today, David Beltran will be walking us through and talking through Connecture and all of the great features that it has. If you're not familiar with Connecture, it is the platform that we use for Medicare quoting and enrollment. It has some great features like vote signature for SOA, Medicare and Medicaid eligibility checks, and digital pharmacy. So just a few things we'll touch on today. With that, I'm going to hand it over to David to take us off.
Thank you so much, Carolina. My name is David, and kind of like Carolina said, right, today's training, we're going to cover Connecture. For the agents that are new onto the Medicare side, the connections for the quoting enrollment, kind of like a Health Sherpa, right? But just on the Medicare side. I'm going to go ahead and if you guys have questions during this training, you guys can either raise your hand or put your question on the chat. That we can answer your questions as we're doing this training. And then I'm going to go ahead and start off with putting the link for Connecture. You guys will be able to see it in the chat function. You guys can just grab the link from there. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen in a couple seconds. Okay, so this is the Connecture platform. Like I said, I put the link on there on the chat for the questions, and so for this platform, we're gonna have to give you guys access to this platform. You can't just register to gain access into it. It's real simple to gain access. Let us know that you need access, or you can request access through our website as well. And then once we grant you guys access into this platform, your username is going to be your email, and then you would do forgot password if it's your first time logging in, and that way you guys can create your actual password for first times logging in. Okay, so here we have our dashboard. This is our main page inside Connecture. Of course, on here you don't see too much information on here. It's just a demo on my side. But once you actually have enrollments, once you have quotes and scope of appointments, you guys will be able to see everything on here, all on the first page. All right, so first we're gonna start off with running a quote. You know, we can do quoting, we can do enrollments, like I said, and then we can also make calls through this Connecture platform. Okay, so the first part would be to run a quote. So to run a quote, you guys will have to create a profile for the client in order to run a quote. It's real simple to create the profile. You guys don't need too much information of the client to create that profile. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to create that profile. If you guys see on the upper right hand side, which is a plus sign, you go to new profile and then new beneficiary. You just have to type in the zip code of the residence, first name, last name, date of birth. I'm going to go ahead and also add a telephone number on here. You don't need the initial telephone number just to run a quote, but I'm going to go ahead and add it so you guys can see how we make calls here in a couple of seconds and stuff. So I'll go ahead and add the phone number already. But in reality, all you need is zip code, first name, last name, date of birth, and then phone number if you guys have it. Everything else you can leave blank for the time being. And you would just select save on here. And that lets you know that the profile has been saved from our lean test. To search for a profile is real simple. Hit the search option, search beneficiary, first name, last name, date of birth, phone number. That's the stuff you guys can input on here to find the client. And so we have here Marlene test. Status will be registrant. Once you actually start the enrollment or you actually enroll, the status will update from registrant. But that's how simple it is to locate those profiles. So you go ahead and select the profile for Marlene test. All right, once you inside the profile, um, the next step would be the scope of appointment step. So for the people that are not familiar what a scope of appointment is, um, we have something similar, under 65 with the consent form, right? For under 65 for the ACA market. On the Medicare side, there's a form that the client has to fill out called scope of appointment. It's just pretty much authorizing you as the agent to be able to contact the client to be able to discuss the plan details, plan benefits. So just authorization form for the client to sign. Key thing about these scope of appointments is that there is a 48-hour time window once the client signs that scope of appointment. So that 48 hours start after the client signs that scope of appointment. It does not begin 48 hours after you sent it. It will start after they sign that scope of appointment. You guys will get notified by text message, email that the client has signed that scope of appointment, and then that is when the 48 hours begins of when you guys can schedule the actual appointment to discuss the plan benefit and details. The only time the scope appointment does not apply is, let's say, for example, if you guys are in an office or in a carrier event, for example, and they go inside your office or they go up to your booth and want to discuss some of these Medicare plans. You can still have them sign that scope of appointment, but you don't have to wait the 48 hours just because they went inside your office or because they went up to you guys if you're in a booth when they wanted to go and discuss talk about plans and stuff. The great thing about Connecture is that you can send them the scope appointment through Connecture. So I'm going to show you guys how to send that scope of appointment to the client. So we're going to hit continue scope of appointment. And there's various ways you guys can send the scope of appointment for the client to sign. You can do an email, you can do a text message, or you can complete in person. So this is how the scope appointment looks once they either receive it via text, via email. This is how it's going to look once they receive the scope of appointments. Pretty much tells them what it is, what the purpose of the form is, right, for the client and the agent. After that, it gives them the option to check off whatever options they want to discuss. I always recommend have the client go ahead and choose every product on there, just in case the client wants to just talk about Medicare Advantage plans initially, but then once you guys start in the conversation, the actual appointment, you guys want to go into Medicare sub, for example, you guys want to talk about other products lines, then you guys have the option to talk about those other products as well because the client selected all of those different products. And once again, it's just simple information of the client: first name, last name, address, phone number, and then they would, are you authorized representative acting on behalf of the beneficiary? Select that, and then check off the box, and then they would hit continue. Once again, once they sign this form, you guys will get a notification via email, via text, that the form has been signed, and the scope of appointment can be saved inside Connecture as well, inside the client's profile. So keep everything inside Connecture. Once again, guys, if you guys do have questions, please raise your hand, let me know. Or if I'm going a little too fast, let me know, please. And then I'll be happy to either slow down or answer you guys' questions, okay? Okay, let me see. I do see some questions right here. For Antonio, he's saying, can you give me access to Connecture or to someone else? Yes, Antonio, we can definitely give you access. If you could just simply put your email address so we can locate your profile. And then once we locate your profile, Antonio, then we'll go ahead and grant you access. And then we'll send you an email letting you know that you've been granted access. And then your username will be your email address. And you just do forgot password. I got Perry over here. Can you do it by text and email then? Yes, we can. So this is Perry's question. I know not everyone can see each other's questions, but this is Perry's questions. Can you do it by text and email? Yes, you can. You have the option of either or. Oh, perfect. Sorry. I see Carolina answered your question on the text and email for the scope of appointments. Thank you so much, Carolina. Okay, I see a raised hand for Winsome. So give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and unmute you so you can ask your question.
Go ahead.
Winsome?
Yes, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
So
morning.
I was a little concerned. I'm new, and I was a little concerned because when I got the link from Agility, this is what it brought up. This is what my page looks like with my dashboard. And I kept sending things, but then when I looked at the videos, it showed me something different. The dashboard was different, but they kept saying that this is the new one. But then I couldn't understand why the video was showing the older version and not this. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing this. So I am happy for this because I was so confused and frustrated. I said, how am I going to sell anybody? And I'm not sure which of the connected sites I'm supposed to be on. So I really appreciate seeing this new one now.
Of course, yes. It might just be something that the marketing side might have to update on the email that's sent out to the agents. But yes, what you're seeing right now, it's what's actively being used right now, what the agents are using right now to quote and enroll.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Okay, so let me make sure we don't have any other questions before I proceed. All right, so Antonio, thank you so much for putting your email address on the chat. I'll go ahead and grab it, and I'll make sure to give you access. Let me just write it down or put it on my notes so I don't forget to add you. Give me 1 second, Antonio. Perry, it says, where do we put our info for access? Same thing, just kind of like Antonio did, please. Just put your email. Once again, this is Perry's question. Where do we put for access? Just put your email address on the chat. I'll grab it, and then I'll give you access, and I'll send you an email letting you know that you have access now. I got Billy. Can we import current full Medicare book of business if just starting with Connecture? For you, Billy, what what are you using right now to quote and enroll your clients? Are you using the carrier portals, or are you using something like Surefire for your enrollments? This is Billy's question. For Perry, do we have to be AHIP certified first? We can still give you access, Perry, to the platform. Um,
Certified.
you just have to. You won't be able to actually quote in any of the carriers because we have to verify that you are ready to sell and that you're appointed with the Medicare companies before we add those companies to your connector. So yes, we can definitely grant you access, but you would have to do your AHIP. You have to do carrier certifications in order for us to add those carriers so you can quote and enroll. What I'm going to do is put on the chat the link that talks about certifications. For the care certifications, it also talks about the AHIP, where you guys can follow this link and complete your AHIP as well. And then also there is a Medicare contracting tab as well on that same link that you guys can see all of the Medicare companies that we work with, and you guys can actually request Medicare carriers using that link as well. And if you do guys have questions on registering for AHIP or have any issues registering for AHIP, please give us a call at our office number. I'll go ahead and put that down as well in our chat. And our proof support team will be happy to assist you guys on either registering for the AHIP or guiding you on how to get to complete your certifications for the Medicare companies. I have a question here, Jody Smith. Can scope appointment be sent via text? Yes, yes, it can. It could be text, email, or it could be printed right there and then. I got your email right here, Perry. For your access, I'll go ahead and copy and paste it on my notes, and I'll make sure to give you access. Janet, I have your email as well. I'll go ahead and give you access, and then I will let you know via email. Prince, I got yours as well. Thank you. All right, got one more question for Billy. So this is his question. It looks like you are using the carrier portals for enrollments and quoting. Let me double check on the import from carrier portals into Connecture. I would have to get back to you on that question. But as you can see, once we figure out the import for all of those enrollments that you've done so far through those carrier portals, great thing about Connecture, guys, is that you guys will be able to quote and enroll different insurance companies all in one place. No more need to log into different carrier portals to quote and enroll those different carriers. Everything will be done through the Connecture platform. But I'll make sure I get you an answer for you, Billy, regarding the imports from those carrier portals. All right, last email I see from Billy for the Connecture access. I got yours, and that's all. That's all the questions I see so far. So I'll go ahead and continue with the trading. So yeah, so like I was saying, you can email, print, text message. Once you get notified that's been signed and you waited the 48 hours for the appointment, we're going to go ahead and do continuity plans. Okay, so just as a reminder, guys, on Connecture, you guys will only be able to see the companies that you are active and aligned under Agility in this portal. For the guys that are selling ACA right now through Health Sherpa, you guys will notice, for example, in Health Sherpa, you're able to see all of the carriers, all the ACA carriers available in that specific state that you guys are quoting, regardless if you're appointed with the insurance company or not. But on this Connecture platform, if you only have United Healthcare, for example, if you only have United Healthcare through Agility, then you will only be able to see United Healthcare plans. So if you guys need help moving current contracts, once again, our contracting team can assist you on moving those Medicare contracts under Agility. And then, or if you need a brand new contract with the insurance companies, just follow the link that I posted on the chat, and you guys can request your brand new Medicare contracts. Okay. So on here, you guys can sort by different filters, pretty much premiums, plan name, deductibles. It has pretty much the main things about the plans: medical deductible, max out of pocket, monthly plan premiums right off the back. You guys can also set preferences to better filter these plans for the client's needs. So let's say, for example, we go to add preferences. It's going to start off with the first question: what kind of coverage are you interested for? Medical only, prescription drug, medical prescription drug. So we can go ahead and select, for example, medical only. We'll hit continue. Then it will do a quick health question to kind of narrow the needs of the client, how often they're going to go to the doctor, for example, or if they're get sick often. You can kind of filter it that way as well. On the health wise, you could do it also by age, and then you can also do the medical cost, an estimate for the medical cost. So let's go ahead and just select, as an example, generally healthy. Hit continue. Now we go ahead and filter by providers. If they already have a provider right now that they're using, you can search by their name or by specific clinic or hospital. Or if not, just simply type in the zip code, hit search, and it will populate the available providers in their local area. So if we wanted to add a couple providers and see which insurance companies will accept, or which provider will accept those insurance companies, then we go ahead and select some providers. And then we hit continue. Okay. We'll go ahead and add the prescriptions as well, so you guys can see all of the different preferences that you guys can use. So we'll go ahead and add some prescription. Very important, guys. When it comes to prescriptions, you got to remember 3 things on the prescription just to make sure we're looking up the correct prescription for the client. We got to make sure we're remembering the spelling. We are remembering the milligrams that they're taking. And then number 3 would be the quantity and frequency of their medication. Once again, spelling, milligrams, and quantity and frequency of the medication, just to make sure that we are looking up the correct medication of that client. The last preference will be the pharmacy. Once again, if they have a pharmacy that they're actively using, we can go ahead and search by name, or simply zip code, hit search, and it will populate all of the nearby pharmacies. Once again, you just simply hit add pharmacy. When it comes to the pharmacies, it does only let you select 3 pharmacies at a time. So we get to do 3 at a time, and then if those 3 don't work, then you can select the next group of 3s on the pharmacies. For Perry, is there a cost for the service? No, there is not. It's a free platform for our agents that we offer to our agents that are contracted for these insurance companies. I'm sorry, for these Medicare companies. I see Prince raised a hand. I'm just unmuting your mic. Stay there. Can you hear me? Prince? All right. If you do have a question, Prince, you can definitely put it on the chat. Unfortunately, I can't hear you. So if you do have a question, you could definitely put it on the chat, please. All right, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and go through the plans with our preferences on here. So, for example, this first plan, United Healthcare. If you guys see, for example, here the providers, and then you guys see the gray X's, then that means these providers will not accept this plan. So we are looking for. I just selected some bad doctors. Let me see. Let me change the doctor preferences real quick. Just I want you guys to see how it looks from not being a network to a network doctor. Give me 1 second. Um, okay, so whenever we do select the doctor, we got to make sure it has the green check mark on here, just like the medication. And then also the pharmacy, for example, for this specific plan, it will show you what pharmacy accepts this plan, and then estimated drug cost. We can also see the plan details for these plans. On here, it's broken down by the benefits, the cost. The network cost or coverage, I'm sorry. Pharmacy coverage. Also talks about the mail order as well. You know, then on here, it discusses the doctors that are out of network, which is majority of those, except for this last one, that's in network. Prescriptions are covered for metformin. That's what the client is taking, and then talks about the pharmacies. All right, and then once we select the plan, let's say for example, the client wants to continue with this plan, we can either add to cart or we can send them the quote. If they want to take a look at it on their own time, for example, then we can send them the quote, or if they want to continue with the enrollment now, we can just simply add to cart to continue with the actual application. You can also do hospital indemnity plans if you guys want to check out their options as well. But if not, then you just simply answer this question: how are you completing this form? Either send to beneficiary, sign, submit, or complete and submit form myself. We'll hit continue to apply. And we hit continue. All right, so these are the pre-enrollment statements. This is very important that you guys go through this items right here on this checklist. Just making sure you're explaining the benefits of the plan, and then making sure the client understands, and if the client has any questions, just to make sure you're addressing those clients' questions before we do the actual enrollment. On here, you are attesting that the beneficiary is aware of the benefits, the coverage of the plan. So it's just pretty much checking off the boxes, and then do you have permissions to record this enrollment? You continue applying, and then that's when the actual application begins. All right, so after this part right here, After this initial part, that's whenever it would ask for their Medicare number. So this is as far as we can get during this initial training. Um, when it comes to Connecture, on this part here, it talks about the different special enrollments that the client can qualify for. So that's a great thing about Medicare, right? Number one, there's always people turning 65, so there are always people aging into Medicare. So it's always an opportunity for you guys to, assist those clients make a sale throughout the year. And then, of course, Medicare also have different enrollment periods, special enrollment periods. Every single enrollment period has different qualifications for them to qualify for that special enrollment. I know that here in the near future, that's something our national trainer Carolina will cover those special enrollments and kind of discuss more further into detail, so you guys can better understand those special enrollments and those opportunities that you guys have throughout the year to be able to offer and sell Medicare plans to the consumer and stuff. One thing I did initially forget before we got into the actual quoting part was um, the call option. So when it comes to Medicare, whenever we're talking about benefits, plan details, stuff like that, we're having those phone call conversations. They do have to be recorded, those conversations. The great thing about Connecture, once again, is that it has the feature to make outbound calls through Connecture. There's no need for you guys to go out there and look for an app to make calls or to worry about, well, how am I going to record my conversations? Through Connecture, you guys can make the call, and then it will save the call on the actual profile as well. And it's real simple to make the call. So right now we're under Marlene's test profile. All we have to do is go up here on the top right hand side, do start call recording, and then you can let the client know that whenever you guys are making the outbound call, this is the number that's gonna pop up on the client's caller ID. This number will be your guys' specific number for your Connecture account. It's gonna be the same number every time you guys dial out, so that way they know that it's you guys calling from this number right here. And then you simply do call beneficiary. You allow access to your microphone, and then the phone will turn red, letting you know that the call is being recorded. So once again, another great feature about Connecture. Another thing too about Connecture is that Connecture does have an app, so you guys can go into your Play Store or Apple Store and download the Connecture app, and you guys can actually do what you're seeing right here now, the quoting, the making outbound calls through the actual app, through the Connecture app, using your actual phone. So you don't always have to rely 100% on a laptop or desktop in order to quote or to communicate with your clients. You guys can actually do it through the Connecture app as well. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to these questions. I see Carolina answered one for Rafney already. Would it be distributed or available to watch later with this recording? Yes, it will be available through Training Central. If you guys are not familiar with Training Central, it is our pretty much like our training hub that we offer our agents. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link on the chat as well for Training Central. On there, you guys are going to be able to see ACA trainings, Medicare trainings in English, and then we're also translating them into Spanish for our Spanish-speaking agents. We are revamping the Training Central application. So please keep an eye out for updates. We're making updates on the actual platform to kind of make it more user friendly and easier to navigate for you guys to get into these different trainings. There'll be videos on there. There's going to be slideshows on there. So if you guys have the opportunity to register for that platform, go ahead and please register. Take advantage of that free training platform that you guys have at your disposal. For Perry, what if they call you? So you'll get notified that the client reached out to you once again via email, via text, that the client reached out to you for through that connection number as well. What is the mobile app name for Connecture? Give me 2 seconds. Let me locate. Let me locate the app real quick. All right, guys. I might have to get back to you on the Connecture name app for the Play Store and App Store, just because it's not populating on the App Store right now. But for Winsome, I would definitely get you an answer on what the actual name is through the App Store. Let me just take down your question so I don't forget. Let me just. All right, guys. So if you guys have any other questions for Perry, yes, I'll let you know as well regarding the app name. All right, guys. I don't see any other questions. Sorry, Prince. I'm not sure if it's from earlier, your raised hand, or if it's raised hand again. But I'm unmuting you here, and let me know if you have a question, Prince. I apologize, Prince, taking longer than normal on unmuting your mic. It's still trying to unmute you. But if you do have questions, you can definitely put it on the chat, and I'll be happy to answer that question for you, Prince. Prince, can you hear me? Your mic is now just you're able to talk now. Can you hear me, Prince? Hello. Sorry, Prince. We can't hear you. Your mic is unmuted, but we still can't hear you. So Winsome, what part of the process do you start recording? So we have the training. It's pretty much similar training that we did today on Training Central, and it pretty much starts from our dashboard. So you guys will be able to see the training from the dashboard step, which is the very beginning of it. Go ahead and take you guys back there. So the training will actually start right here on the dashboard, and then it'll continue to creating the profile for the client and quoting for the client, making the call. But it's going to start on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Hey, David, I think Winsome's question is more about at what point should they click the call recording option?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
So whenever you guys make the add-on call through Connecture, it automatically starts recording. There's no like option that you guys have to select to start recording. It just, as soon as the client picks up the phone call, the recording begins. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Winsome, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, right. So what I was alluding to is for you to get all that information from the client, wouldn't you have started recording the conversation? That's what I wanted to know. Like getting the information, the name, the date of birth, and the plans we're looking for, their health and all of that you were doing initially. Isn't that where we start the call recording? Because we'd have had to call them to get the information.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. So whenever you make the initial call, if you're using this platform, then like I said, it will just automatically start recording when you're having that initial conversation with the client. Yes, ma'am.
Right, which is when you're about to start to talk to them about the plans, because you have already gotten the SOA signed, and then you're
Correct.
going to go into the application now, and that's when you start recording the call.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I just wanted to be sure, not when we've actually gone through and then said, okay, we're going to do other things. It's as soon as we get the information from them, that's when we're going to start recording, because we already got the SOA. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome.
Right. Thank you.
All right, guys. I don't see any other questions or any other raised hands. But once again, if you guys think of anything, please give us a call back. I'll put a number of the office number on here one more time. If you guys have any questions, concerns, just give us a call, okay?
And David, while you do that, I just want to let everyone know there were some questions around AHIP. For those folks who have not registered yet, on Training Central, you will find a AHIP user guide. It's located under resources and tools. It's very helpful. You can also use that to kind of walk you through the process and what the expectations are for the final exam and the modules that come with it. So we do have that available as well on Training Central.
That is awesome. That's gonna be real helpful for you guys as well, guys, because I know sometimes registering for the AHIP can be a little confusing sometimes. I know we have agents sometimes calling us for assistance, but it's great that you guys have that resource easily available through Training Central now as well. Anything else you would like to add, Carolina?
No, I'm good.
No?
Thank you, David, for walking us through. This was a great guided tour of Connecture and all it has to offer. So thank you very much.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys as well for joining today. Just keep an eye out for my email for the people that put their email address for Connecture access. I'll be sending you guys an email letting you know you guys have access, and then I will also be sending the link if you guys want to request Medicare contracts or need the link for AHIP as well. I'll be sending that as well on that email. Thank you once again, guys, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.